Hey guys, it's Brian, and Brad Schick back for another Disc Golf Examiner disc review. We're out here at the Hoover Reservoir, right across the river here from the Brent Hamrick Memorial Disc Golf Course. And we thought before the Buckeye Classic, let's get in a disc review, why not?
Yep.
And we got a doozy for you today. What do we got, Brad?
So we have the new prototype Paul McBeth Kong. Brand new, what about maybe a couple months ago?
Right,
so,
yeah.
Yep, still learning it, but I love it.
Yeah, it seems like a really interesting disc. What do you use this disc for mostly?
So for me, I like the lip. It's a little bit smaller, so I have primarily been throwing the Force and a Nuke, but with the Kong, it's got a smaller lip. It's a little easier, so I really like it for sidearm or for backhand, but stability-wise, it's a little less stable than the Force and a little more stable than the Nuke, so it's a nice kind of in between.
It seemed like it had a little bit of flex to it the couple times that I got to throw it. Really interesting disc. Brian, for an amateur player, what did you think of the Kong?
As an amateur player, someone with a slower arm speed, and someone who hasn't thrown a Discraft disc in a long time, this thing surprised me. It is great. I will tell you, with a slower arm speed, it's probably going to go left for you. It's a stable disc, but it's very dependable. We had a lot of wind out here today, and it handled it great. And look at these things, man. The Discraft swirl game is on point. This plastic has some very nice shine to it. Very nice and grippy. Love it.
Yeah. So that means the one thing we got to do is take it to the profile. Let's do it.
So the plastic for me, it's a nice blend. It almost feels similar to the Big Z, but it's very grippy, nice, smooth, slick feel to it. But it's still grippy. So I really like it. The rim is, like I said, a little smaller. Helps kind of fit in my small hands. One thing to keep in mind too, there are a couple that I've received that are more domey and more pop of, like the top will kind of pop. Those are definitely more stable than the flat one. So if you get one that's really flat and kind of low profile, it's not going to be as stable. It'll probably go a little longer depending on your arm speed. So pay attention to which one you're getting.
When I put the Kong on a hyzer, I threw it probably 75% and stayed on the hyzer line the whole way, had good loft, and I liked that it was pushing forward even at the end. It came down hard, but it was still pushing forward. So on the hyzer line, I let that go with quite a bit of hyzer, got it up a little higher than normal. The tailwind had that thing flying really stable. Probably landed 350-ish. When I threw the Kong on a flat release, it pretty much held the hyzer the whole way because I don't have a very big arm. But it was still very glidey and got about the same distance as I had on the hyzer, which is kind of what I was expecting. On the flat line, I tried to come out as flat as possible with a little bit of a slip. Again, the tailwind held that over. I would say probably went about 360, 375. When I threw the Kong on an anhyzer, I actually got it to go straight with a little bit of flip, which was great. It flipped up, went straight. I got about the same distance out of all three throws, and it was very consistent, which is, with this tailwind out here, very dependable. It's a good disc to have. So with the turnover shot, I really got over on that one. Again, that tailwind still wants to hold it over, but with a lot of turn, it actually flew quite a bit further. I would say that was probably 380 to 400. So I got my best throw of the day with the sidearm. I do throw a fair amount of sidearms, but this really, when it caught the tailwind, just sailed. It held the line to the left for longer than I expected, landed really flat. So another Kong, flat, release flat, goes a lot further. I prefer to throw them flat or maybe with a little turn. I think you're gonna get a lot more distance on them, but still very reliable.
And that's how we threw the Paul McBeth ESP Swirl prototype Kong. It was a ton of fun. Thanks so much for joining us, Brad. And hey, Brian, thanks for driving all the way out to Ohio for this review.
Totally worth it.
Totally.
So all right, guys, until next week, keep banging those chains.